All right, so welcome to this week's Unikernel application spotlight. This week we're looking at Nvelox. I don't know how you pronounce it. Nvelox, not sure. Uh, but it's a proxy server, so it kind of compares and contrasts itself with like a proxy or Nginx. So in cases where you would use one of those, this is kind of a slide-in fit for it. However, it's a based upon this framework called GNet, and I guess one of the use cases is for like VoIP applications using RTP and stuff like that, because it does have this kind of unique capability to bind to quite a few different ports, like 10,000 ports, for instance, which there are a few use cases for that. The VoIP stuff being one example. It's small. It's a single binary. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, let's kick the tires on this, because it's always something that's a good fit for unikernels. It has things like zero copy. This GNet framework we'll take a little bit more look at, but it has a little event loop that it uses. Pretty simple config in YAML. Basically, you have your front end, you have your back end. So anything you would have to load balance or proxy over, it does pretty good. So GNet is this framework that it uses, and so this doesn't use net HTTP. So if you're a gopher, right, it's Go. It's not using net HTTP underneath. It's a replacement for that, and apparently this is pretty fast. It does lock free stuff during the runtime, lots of different protocols and so forth, and uses this reactor pattern. Obviously, they bragged about being number one on TechPower benchmarks. So in this particular benchmark, I guess they got it up to like 7 million requests a second, or if that's what that says, and I think it says that. It's pretty damn fast. You can kind of see some of these others that you might recognize. Like I remember Vertex and Hyper, that's a Rust one, Fiber, ASP.NET Core. So, I mean, OPCO, I remember that. I think we have a unikernel of this guy. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty fast. And they have some more benchmarks. So that framework is here, GNet, and basically it's built on ePull, and has we mentioned the ring buffers and the lock free and so forth. Edge triggered IO support. Okay, that's pretty interesting. If you want to get the package, I cut a package here, so we can just kind of cut and paste this guy, pop into our shell. So it's up and running, right? I just have kind of a default config, so we can kind of take a look at that real quick and see what I actually put in there. Sysroot. Yeah, so there's like nothing on this file system except for this YAML file. And so you can edit this however you want, but it binds to 9,000. And then it sends it to the backend, which is this echo pool. It does a round robin, but we only have one server listening. 10.0.2.2 is the user mode gateway IP going out. So, because I'm using this, but, in real life, this might be some other thing, or it might be a domain name or something. 8081. Let me show you what I whipped up here. This is just a little netcat listener, and so basically, this is slow, by the way. We're not going to show benchmarks here because this is pretty slow. But basically, this just loops in and it throws this index HTML out netcat, and then as soon as netcat serves it, this Q 0. Basically it waits 0 seconds and dies, and so that way it can just like repeatedly serve files. It's like a poor man's CGI is what it would be. Our file is a little bit more than just the HTML, our headers that we want. So the 3 headers that will keep us in compliance. And so we can kind of pop that open, listen, right? I'm gonna send it to first, so it works, right? And now what we can do is we can pipe it through our server here, because it's on 9,000. As you can see, that works too, right? And we can do something like this too, just to, again, these benchmarks will be garbage because it's literally like spawning a new netcat process each time. So that's bad, right? But it's just to kind of show you the package, right? So let's see how big this actually was, right? Because this is a pretty small package. Nvelox, yeah, whopping 13 megabytes, and like the actual binary, which is the big beef here, is 11 megs. I don't even think it's stripped. Yeah, it's not stripped. You could strip it and shrink it if you really wanted to. 7 megs. Anyways, it's still freaking small, right? And it's a nice little thing. This is an interesting project. It's extremely new. As of like 4 or 5 days ago, I saw it pop on HN, and so I wanted to play with it and make a Unikernel package out of it. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on this one and see where it goes. But until next week, this was Nvelox running as a Nanos Unikernel.